Good day. Uh, Today I'll be the driver of this session.
Hello everyone, my name is Ulrich and I'll be the navigator of this session.
Cool. I'm going to be discussing Chapter 4, Importing and Exporting Data for SQL. So let's jump into it. So why do we import and export data? So firstly, the insert statement is good for small data, whereas large data that has hundreds and thousands of rows, in order to work with that, we need to use imports and exports. So in Postgres, it provides the copy command in order to import data and export the data. So we import the data from a delimited text file into a table, then we export the data from a table or query into a text file. So let's have a look at how that works. So firstly, in this chapter, we went ahead and created this table named US counties, and it's just a table that stores the 2010 US county data. So you can see all the columns here, the geo name, the state, summary level, and all of that. And then all of this shows like the different races and stuff like that in the counties. Then selecting them, and then this is where we make our first import, right? We import our county data from a CSV file into the US County 2010 table data. So that's the first import we make. And when we import that from the CSV file, in order to use that data, then we can use that data by retrieving some of that data, as we can see here. And using a select statement, order by, and limit. Then over here, I created a table called supervisor salaries with all these columns. Then here's the table. It shows all the data for that table with the necessary columns. Then this is an import that we make from this CSV file, supervisor salaries. So we make that import basically here, actually, where we gonna import specifically this data, the town column, supervisor column, and the salary, right, in CSV format, so we can use that data. Then we went ahead and created a temporary table, right, and name it supervisor salaries temp, and we add the like method to basically make sure that the temporary table is a copy of the supervisor salaries, so we can use it as a temporary table for testing. So once that's created, we can select that table, which is empty. Then we use the copy method to import the data from supervisor salaries, right? And we importing that data, and once that's imported, then we can use the insert into method to basically insert specific data into our supervisor salaries from our supervisor salaries temporary table that we just created. And we do that, we insert all that data after we imported from the supervisor salaries CSV file. So we use the select statement to select the specific data that we want to insert into our supervisor salary temporary table. So we gonna collect the town, the data for, basically the data for this column, and this column, and specifically the values, which is some county from this county column. So when we do that, we insert that data into our temporary table, and yeah, we can see some of that data here. Then let's see, here is where we make exports, right? So in order to make exports, we use, instead of using from, we say to, because we want to export it to this txt file over here. So we're using the US counties 2010 table, and we copy from that and then export that data from that table to this txt file with this format. Then after that, we export the selected columns, right? The columns such as the geo name, internal point, and internal point longitude, and we export that to this over here. So mainly just the fact that we use copy to export, and then use copy from to import the data from the CSV file. Here we are making an import to this txt file, and we are gonna import specific data that we select from our US counties table. So this is the data we want to import, specifically this, and it has a specific condition where the geo name consists of MILL within its name. So when we run that, right, we imported it to this file, and when you check the file, we can see here that the data is imported. The geo name, as we stated over here, as well as the state abbreviation data, which is here. So those are the headers, and then the actual data is based off this condition, alike to MILL. So all the geo names that have MILL in it, as you can see, are here. So yeah, that's basically how that works. Then with these activities, in this first activity, I basically created a table. Then I use the copy from method to copy data from my export one txt file and set it to this format. Then in this activity here, I'm exporting the top 20 countries with the highest housing unit counts from the US counties 2010 table, and then formatting that data over here. So in order to do that, to get the top 20 countries and export those counties with the highest housing units, in order to do that, I use copy from, but while copying from, I have to select the specific geo name, the state US abbreviation, the housing unit count 100%. The reason why is because it asks us to include with the highest housing unit count. And we order the unit count using the order by, and set it to descending order so that it can show the top 20 in that specific order, and we limit it to 20. Then we export it to this txt file over here. And once I do that, I can see basically here is the data. Top 20 counties with the highest housing unit counts are over here. The geo name, the state, and the unit, and it shows the top 20 counties. So yeah, that's basically chapter 4, importing and exporting data from tables from and into TXT or CSV files.